Hey guys, guess what? There's a brand new version. Starmade version 0.188, a completely new GUI. This update's quite lengthy, if you kind of think about it. It's got a lot of stuff that they wrote in here. If you want, spend some time reading through it. It's got some really great stuff. Predominantly, if you notice, it says this update might seem lacking in new features because it replaces a lot of things, but we hope it will make gameplay and usability a lot more comfortable. Frankly, for me anyways, I feel like it's got a lot of new stuff, but in reality, it really is updating a lot of old stuff, so that way it's more user-friendly. So for those of you who either have, version 0.1867 and have never played or dealt with any of the previous versions, all you have to do when you load up the launcher is click this little button right here that says Update and Install Latest Version. Just go ahead and click it, and it does all the work for you. It'll move from 0.1867, and it'll move right into 0.188. Now, if you notice when you click this button, you get a screen that says Create Backup of Current Game Data, Recommended. So either I can put yes, only the database, or yes, everything, or just simply no. I would recommend not doing no. Probably the best thing, just do everything, just to be on the safe side, so that way you got all your game data and not to worry. If you click yes to everything and start doing a backup, you probably are wondering, where does your backup go? If you notice, I've just been fiddling with a few backups here just to kind of get some on screen. While it's backupping, it creates a temporary file in the Starmade folder where your game is located and where the Starmade Starter exe is located. And then if you remember from previous video, the main game is inside its own folder called Starmade. It'll create a backup just like this, and unfortunately the backups can get kind of hefty in size. If you notice, I haven't done anything, so these two backups are actually identical, where these I've done just a little bit and start adding to size. So right now it's only 250 megabytes, and that's kind of hefty size-wise, and all you have to do, just, click some of these old ones, just delete them, because they're not worth keeping over and over and over. But it is useful because if your game crashes or whatever and you need to get back, just, unback up. So while we're waiting for this, I'm just going to kind of, point out a few things. So some of the things they have done is they've managed to make windows resizable, and they're dynamic. So in the game, you open, say, inventory or navigation, you can actually resize your window, which is real great. You can, move windows around. There's lots more windows to work with. You'll find later, you'll see in the videos, I'll be using windows over here, which is real great. And what's cool about this is if you exit the game, it saves your window settings, so you don't end up with the, like say I move a window over here, you don't end up with a weird thing of when you open the game, bam, it's right in the middle again. It'll still be right where you left it, which is over here, which is real cool. Pretty much every list in the game now has responsive search bars, filters, and sorting in every column. Plus the shop. The shop now you can actually search, and you can actually say if you want an undetonator, just search for undetonator right there in the shop, and it'll pop up instead of having to go through menu after menu after menu of just trying to find stuff. And so that was a big plus. A lot of the GUI elements like buttons and stuff give better feedback, which is awesome. Probably one of the best features, I think, it happened to be the radar. Over here on the left, you'll see the radar changes to a really awesome dynamic 3D radar. It starts off small, so all you have to do is go right into the option, click up large radar, and it'll pop up with a much larger radar, which is much more easier to see. Oh, awesome, it's done. So give me a second here, I'll explain just in a second. So got a really awesome radar. You can see stuff. You can actually highlight things in the radar through your navigation panel, and the navigation panel is like totally redesigned, which is real great. They've done some stuff with messages and tried to make them less obtrusive, because if you remember, sometimes messages are like giant boxes, just gets in the way. The HUD got cleaned up. What it reminds me of, especially when you're in a ship, it reminds me of the game called Descent Free Space, where the HUD's got things on the side for like shield, power, weapons, whatnot. So this HUD looks fairly similar to that. I've got my screen resolution, in a sense, pretty big, and then I've also got the viewable window at like 110, so things are kind of small for me. So like you'll see a health bar like pretty much looks like this. It's really small. Little things that they've done, you can actually navigate better. You can actually save waypoints 20 bookmarks of waypoints is real nice. You can add and delete them. So I can save my sector I'm in, which you'll see I'll do. Objects have been restructured to make it much more, options have been restructured to make them much more easier to navigate. Selecting objects now displays shield and power on them. Asteroid resource specs are now displayed on the name and is much more accessible in the navigation tab. Item descriptions are now available in inventory, so if this is your inventory window, you'll see item description down here, which is awesome. You can destroy items now. You don't have to just simply drop them. There's an actual garbage trash bin over here, and or a cell bin, which is real great. The usual Alt Tab to close windows. If you know how you Alt Tab, go down here, you click on it to pop back up. It actually won't consume your click, which is awesome. So instead of shooting your weapon or putting down blocks, you'll actually consider the first thing you do as not applicable, which is great when you pop into a window. They've made some blueprints for stations now. Stations now work like ships, and you can save blueprints for stations. Unfortunately, it still costs 1 million credits to buy the blueprints, but you can now change that in the server config file. Oh, by the way, bookmarks, you can change those in the server config files too for the sectors. Shop descriptions now finally have correct entries for all the ones that were missing and correct spelling, and more balancing are going to come later. They made some new decorative blocks such as decorative chart, decorative conduit, scaffolding, and icon got updated to be more visible, such as glass icon. Glass and ice used to just be really clear and it's kind of hard to really make out, so they made the icon look nicer. I kind of want to say they updated it when you actually place the block too, to some degree. Oh, I gotta say this too. I found out that damage actually looks different now. It's not yellowish orange anymore. Now it's actually a little bit different. You'll see that too. Minor fixes, yellow lights, yellow rods actually turn on and off, which is real nice. And what they also did is they say here, another new server config option now also in the separation of the total thread pool and the CPU thread pool. The default value of CPU thread pool had been lowered to combat the issue of some machines slowing down to the point of freezes. So this gotta help for a lot of people. So let's hope. So anyway, so I'm gonna put this here on pause because I'm gonna switch recorders because this recorder is perfect for recording, the desktop. And so I'm going to switch it over so I can restart the game so you don't hear what happened in the last episode, which is, not going to go there. Not going to talk about that right now. Okay, we'll see you in a minute. Hey guys, so, would you believe this? No sooner did I finish recording version 0.1880, I guess if you want to call it, they got a brand new update. And look, I'm already out of compliance with the updates already. So I'm going to go ahead and click update and install latest version. The same thing applies to the version 0.188 version. You just click this and update. Create a backup of everything. If you guys recall from the earlier part of the video, backup ends up in your main Starmade folder. This will probably come pretty quick. So I'm just going to show you some of the stuff. This is just a quick fix to the GUI related bugs and missing elements such as display block. Oh my god, I'm just talking funny now. Display block dialog and input font. Text limits, optimization, VRAM link, catalog delete button, things like active indication for cloaker. Current recipe now displayed when factory inactive, which is actually going to be helpful to the thing I was just trying to do for recording today, which is kind of cool. Fixing reload indication for weapons and so on and so on. They just added some extra bug tweaks, which is cool. What's nice is they re-added some things, such as re-adding search for last ship, re-adding scan history, re-adding change owner for catalog. These things apparently were still missing some stuff. You'll see that they've got a few things they want to just make some slight changes to. They've made some texture fixes, which is kind of nice. A new inventory slot background, minor fix for graphics, added slot numbers to the hotbar. So in other words, you can actually see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, etc. Ooh, hello, look at this. I've got an error, critical error. IO exception checksum file invalid. Size number not fine. Get information possible fix. Okay, well. This is exciting. So for the folks that attempt to install version 0.1882, I will explain something in just a moment about this critical error that I just got in the middle of my discussion of this very last line here. So if you happen to get this error and you click continue and you can't seem to start the game, you can always go to options and repair. Over here you're going to end up seeing a build switcher. All you got to do... Oh, that's funny. Okay, how very odd. So I don't know why it froze up on me. I got a critical error. I actually had to close this down through the, the usual window task manager stuff. Get it shut down via that, and then when I managed to reopen it, it popped up with the right news. Everything just kind of froze up, and it actually asked me to update and install the latest version again. So here I am after a critical error, and apparently this didn't pop up the first time, and this might be the reason why. Apparently I have to sign the EULA, and so that's what I'm going to do right now. I've read and accept. I'm going to do a backup yet again of everything. Hopefully it doesn't kill my game here. We're going to re-update this thing again, and where I had left off was they added slot numbers to the hotbar, minor fixes to graphic, new inventory slot background, and some new sprites to make things just clearer, so to speak, and list reset, whatever that is, on updates. So when you find some odd errors on these things and you just can't seem to go upgrade into, say, the next version, all you gotta do is click option to repair right here, and you should technically be able to see previous version. I didn't see that. Oh good, there it goes. Now it's working. I actually didn't see the screen where it said build switcher. There was nothing here. I couldn't see any of this stuff. But if you can't go into the latest version and you have a crash or whatever, you can always switch back to the older version. And you can just swap it, click download normal to actually switch to the earlier version, and or you could just force download and just re-download everything. If you do for some reason happen to get that critical error and didn't get the EULA, all you gotta do is just get this thing shut down via force shutdown of the task manager, get rid of the thing, and then try to restart it. At least it worked for me. It just popped right back up and it gave me the EULA right from the get-go. So yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and start the game now with version 0.1882. Alright, we'll see you in a minute. Hey everybody, how are you doing? So I briefly got done with the explanation a bit ago. I just logged into the game. As you can see behind me, this is the planet I actually crash landed on. You can see some of it's generated, some of it's still not generated, and the generation for the planet still needs some work. So the version 0.188 and version 0.1882 updates will not really be addressing generation of planet. And so I do not know if, if I turn up settings, if it's going to do anything better or not, or make it slower, So looking at the two version, put it that way, one thing they updated was this screen here, the startup screen. It's no longer a little rectangle with the spawn up here and desktop down there. It's now kind of a compact rectangle. It's got a message here, which is nice. So if you have faction or if you do online, you can actually set up messages for people to see every time they log in. I'm going to click spawn. Couple things I did. I turned the pirates off for the time being because, well, frankly, we don't need pirates. I want to point out a couple things. So some things that are new is what's up here. This little credit icon will light up in a sense whenever you're in range of a shop. The closest shop to me is not too far away, but it's still far enough to not get this to light up. This one here will be the mailbox icon. So if you do online multiplayer and whatnot, people send you mail, will actually have a notification for you. Oh, that's interesting. I wonder why I did that. Anyway, so this is for mail, and then the last one here is for trading. Trading's not active yet, so it will eventually turn on in a little while, probably in a future update. I don't know which one yet. The other thing they've done here is they made a better minimap. If you look at the minimap, you could totally see it's much more dynamic and you can really see where things are. Unfortunately, this minimap, in my opinion, is quite small. So what I usually do is I just go right into the option. You see how it's a radar minimap size? I just turn it up to large, and once I hit resume, it's much bigger and much more easier to see. For you guys there, I don't know if you can actually see this. So far, I have not been able to tell exactly what this is. I think these are asteroids and or planets. This for sure is a planet. Sorry about the dog barking. Over here is the shop. Down here is the trade station, and these are pirates. The various red dots are pirates. Okay, ask the dog to bark quieter, so that way I can finish recording the video. Anyway, so as I was trying to say, the trade station's in blue, the little tiny blue dot. The shop is in a little pinkish purple dot, and then pirates are done in red. And then it just does a better job, just more, so it's more visual. I don't think you can actually see that map as well as you would be able to if you're actually playing the game. Some things they've done different as well is they've done some work on texturing. So you'll notice, remember if you recall, I made some ice walls here, which it's supposed to be like a window since I don't really have any windows at the moment. The textures are much more better and much more well done. So if I went to inventory, this is still the same block of ice, and instead of it being see-through, it actually looks more like a piece of ice, frankly. And they've done some texturing redoing with some of the items in here, so it actually looks nicer on screen. Plus, what they've done is, if you notice, it's a filter by block name. Let's say I want some lava. I type in lava, and guess what? Everything else grays out in the inventory, and you can only see lava. It's much more easier to work with. It won't do it for, say, hull. Actually, it will. Never mind. I'm thinking of something else for hull. It'll actually gray out everything, and you can actually see all of your hull pieces, which is real nice. And if I wanted to get rid of something, let's say I want to get rid of this piece of ice crag, I could just go ahead and drop the trash, and it'll ask me how many I want to get rid of. And if I enter too many, maximum amount you can delete will be automatically displayed, right? And so that's kind of cool. And plus, something else they've done is they've included information down here, such as the build block. It'll actually tell you a bit about the build block. Unfortunately, I've noticed, one, the scroll bar is a little bit tiny, so it's kind of hard to scroll, particularly if you just want to click and drag. So they need to make the scroll bar a little bit bigger. That's one. And then two, I've also noticed that the information doesn't quite finish. So for example, on the build block, yeah, you could see it stops the structural stats, which is awesome. And now if I did power reactors, you'll see how it says well-designed group of reactors may generate bonus power, although this, and there's no way to continue scrolling down. So there's more information down there, just you can't see it. Just a little bug they've got to fix. Another thing they've added to the inventory menu is the credits. Just click the little hand icon here, and you could drop as many credits as you want to get rid of, which is real nice. If you guys remember from version 0.1867 and before, they used to have the crafting area here, and it was not very easy to see. So to click up here, refine raw material, craft generic resources, and craft basic factory. You can choose all of them to be open. You could choose one of the three, two of the three, whatever works for you. And remember how they said to resize windows and move windows? I could totally like rearrange my thing here and have all three of my windows wherever I want it to be. If you notice, that other one just disappeared, huh? So certain places are not going to be quite helpful if you hide them. Which one was that? Generics? It's hidden behind this window. Look at that. I can just go and move stuff around and make it just so much more easier and more user-friendly. Two, you can resize the window. So I can make it as small as I want. I can make it as big as I want. I can, as you've seen earlier, you can see the windows being moved and everything. So it's just so much things you could do with the windows now. Also, they moved the various tabs that used to be around the windows when you open stuff. So now your inventory tab's there. For buying stuff in the shop would be here, but because there's no shops in the range, you can't click it. I'm going to come back to navigation at the end. You have messages, so you can look at mail and message log, which is nice. You can see all the messages that may have happened. Crew, any crews that you might have are available to look at. Factions, it'll show you what factions are here and what possible diplomacy things you might have in relation to it. You can also filter by faction. You also have some options to create a faction as of right now, which is awesome, and you can invite people. Catalog involves various ships you may have saved and or various ships that you may have imported. So I've imported some other things in here. So for example, if I was looking for Shuttle Pod 1, right? All I just typed up was HU, and there you go. I can also search by owner, which is nice. Admin will just give you some stuff in relation to admin commands as well. So for example, camera Z here, I can buy camera Z, look at the blocks, etc., look at the permission for it, admin loaded, change owner, etc. Oops, I needed that. Under here, no structured entered looks at weapon, entity structure, and or AI. So it says basically you have to be in a structure to use those. Over here in navigation, this is probably one of the biggest changes and a big giant plus. The galaxy map, by the way, can be clicked from here, which is awesome. Check this out. I gotta go stop that dog again. Hang on, I'll be right back. Let's get rid of that. And get my navigation panel back, and I will be right back. Okay. So apparently the dog thinks that there is people outside to want to say, get away, and it's probably the neighbors all the way across the street. You know how those things are, you know, dogs, they have a tendency of owning more than one neighborhood, right? Yeah, that's what's going on here. Obviously there's no one there, and their neighbors are probably just being the neighbors, you know? So anyways, let's get back to navigation. You can set the navigation filter here. This worked identically just like it does before. I just added asteroid just to show you something important here. Each one of these now displays the name of, say, a ship, planet, and asteroid, and shop, whatever. And then over here it tells you the type if it wasn't so obvious that's a ship or a planet core, right? It also tells you the mass. Oddly, planet cores they weigh nothing. Don't ask me why. And don't ask me why I weigh 0.1. I have no idea what unit this is under, but apparently I weigh 0.1 more than a planet does. Who knew? And shops weigh nothing despite the giant size of a shop. Isn't that odd? Anyway, so ships, though, they do tell you the mass of ships. They tell you the faction the ship belonged to and or station belonged to. And if you look at this, they do move dynamically. So this is actually the closest ship to me, and I can easily find out where that ship is, second only to my own. Oops. Trying to scroll down. These scroll bars need to get bigger. If you look at asteroids, you'll start to know something. Asteroid rich in Bastion, Verkentine, asteroid rich in Barat, Zirconor, asteroid rich in Mati, Gisper, and I can go on and on and on. All the asteroids now list what minerals are inside those asteroids, so you can actually go and target a specific asteroid that you're looking for, which is way, way cool. Let's go back to this. Oh, look at that. I can scroll this with my mouse wheel. Oh, that's awesome. So let's just say I wanted this particular mob. I click on it, and then you'll end up seeing the highlighted cursor here, which is blinking. It'll actually point me in the direction of that particular entity, which is awesome. Something else to look at. Let's use this sector. This one will do. If you notice that sector right there, it's moving along, right? I can go into options, and I can go indicators for other sectors. Instead of doing indicators only, I can do indicators and arrows. So here's the same sector, and here's other sectors around the map. I can turn them completely off, which is nice, or I can just leave them as indicators for individual sectors. This pop-up and detach warning under the options also refers to the server overload issue. So if you have server overload, you can actually change the value of when this message pops up. Tech info, if you guys remember this stuff down here, the version number, the frame rate per second, various information, and all the information, this stuff was always hard to turn off. You have to actually push tab I in older versions. In the new version, you don't have to worry about that. You can there's an actual setting to turn the thing off, which is so much better. Graphics and sound and controls have pretty much stayed the same. While I go chase that dog, oh, I almost forgot about that. Well, let me go pause this again. Okay, I'm back now. You remember I have that pirate? Oops! Oh God, I want it right here. Remember if I have that pirate selected? What's now cool is it gives you power and shield of various ships you have selected, and it'll tell you what faction they belong to. So you can see this guy's using power. He's probably trying to shoot at me right now, for all I know. And he had no shield, which is kind of cool. It's a good way to gauge, you know, how much power a potential enemy has, and or you can actually use the same thing to look at potential targets, such as if you were looking at trade station and or pirate bases. It also tells you how much shields and power they have and who they belong to, so that way you can actually find a way to, you know, deal with it. So I'm going to go over to my ship. I'll be back. Okay, this is going to be kind of exciting if I get attacked here. There's a pirate mob coming after me. I can't even stop the dog now. She's just going to bark away, and I'm trying to get her to stop, but she's just not going to. And this guy's just going to probably shoot me here, and I hope he doesn't hit me because this would be bad. But anyways, here's my old ship. I'm afraid to go in this thing while this pirate's flying around here. My old ship, if you guys remember the damage on my ship, it was almost like a yellow-orange color. Nowadays, what they do with damage, if you notice, the yellow-orange is gone, but you can definitely see the pitting that's going on with the various things in the ship. My god, he's gonna blast me. I hope he doesn't. If he does, then guess what? I get to go shop. Anyway, so you can also see the differences and variation in damages as well. This is both the same white block of hull, and there's two different styles of damages too. Wow, this guy is like right there. Okay, get inside the ship core. Also what they've done, I hope I don't die here. Also what they've done here is, if you notice, there's shields here up on the left side. They've got the power right here on the right side. The only downside of this map, when it's big, it kind of cuts off this portion of the power here. It also tells you your speed and how fast and slow you're going. Something else they've done is they put the health bar down here. I don't really care for that. I personally like the other health bar. It was kind of better, or at least, you know, stick it here. Even when you get out of the ship, you know, your health bar is still down here and you just can't see it. Oh gosh, I'm getting attacked here. I gotta go. Let's run somehow back to base. Where is my base? Okay, I feel lost. Okay, my base, where is my... Okay, here we go. I figured out where I am. I gotta go this way. Okay, oh my god, there's a pirate right there in front of me. I hope you don't see me. Gotta get back in. While I'm talking here, if you notice down at the bottom, the HUD down there, and the hotbar, you'll notice that they put numbers at the bottom. That got added in version 0.1882. Okay, good. So now I've shut the door. That got added in version 0.1882, which is real cool. So they at least put the numbers in, because I was like, you know, what number is this? And I would just call it out because I didn't know what it was. So yeah, let's see if I can do something about the puppy. Okay, I think I've got her stopped. I gave her something good to eat. I sincerely hope it works. We'll find out, right? So anyhow, I think that's everything. Oh, stations. Stations have blueprints. You can buy and sell station blueprints, and you can actually upload them to your catalog, which is nice. Decorative blocks, they've got decorative chart, decorative conduit, scaffolding, and a few other things. Navigation bookmarking. Oh, I didn't talk about that. Navigation bookmarking. You can save current coordinates. So I'm at basically on the planet is 667, basically is what the coordinates is. So I can actually type in a name and save it, and once it's saved, you can set or load waypoint. And what's kind of cool, you see I wrote Ice Planet Crash Shuttle Pod 1. Tells me where the coordinates is, how far away it is from my current position, wherever I may be, and actually I can actually plot a course to it and or delete it, which is real awesome. Unfortunately, the downside is I think I actually have to be there because it says save current coordinates. It doesn't say save a coordinate. So as long as I visited a place once and I'm standing there, I can actually save it at least. Couple other things they've done, they just put filters pretty much everywhere, so you can actually find filters for just about everything, and I think that's just way cool. I don't think there's any more here. This should be just about it. Oh, hello. Yeah, this should be about it. So I think that's it for now. I'm going to call it quits on this particular episode. And then I'm finally going to get back into crafting a ship together, at least. I'm going to start with the ship core and how to craft a ship core from the basic material to not having anything. If you notice my inventory, I really don't have ship cores, so I need to build one, right? So I'll show you how to do that in the next episode. I wanted to wait mostly on that because of where they did this stuff, and they changed a few things here with the menus and how they kind of look. So I'd rather give you the better menu rather than give you the old menu. So anyways, okay, so let's cut out here and we'll call it a night. Okay, bye.